everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Puck Buddy Podcast. We are your Puck Buddies. That would be Eddie making that sound over there, Eddie Morad.
Sorry.
We have Bo Hendrickson somewhere in the background.
That's me.
And I am Cameron Che, and I am coming to you from somewhere else over Skype. I apologize if that makes my voice a little far away. We are doing our best.
But he's still so
Now,
close. In spirit.
So close, but so far away.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have a brand new section to bring you, and this is going to be basically a showdown between Eddie and Bo. But since we could not get their fist fight on camera for you guys, we decided to just use our intellect instead, which we have almost plenty of.
Yeah.
Now, this new section is called the Shootout.
Ooh.
Now, guys, I am going to be mediating this shootout between the two of you, and I will ultimately be deciding the winner, all right, of each question and each topic that I bring up.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you guys? All right. Well, let's get into it right away. Shootout topic number 1. Will the Edmonton Oilers make the playoffs this year? Let's hear what you guys have to say. Eddie, you want to start us off?
Round 1.
Fight.
All right, here we go. A fight to the death through audio isn't as pleasing to the, you'd rather just see it. But we'll discuss this, and I'm going to give my reasons why I think the Oilers will make it to playoffs this year. And let's see. So I'm going to start off by saying teams who have made playoffs in the past couple years, probably longer than that, but from my research, they've always posted above a 50% Corsi. Some examples include the Sharks, who got a 53.3 when they made it. Blackhawks had a 50.3, Pens had a 56.2, and Tampa had a 52.9. Those are just some examples. Right now, the Oilers are 12th in the league for their Corsi, which is the worst throughout the whole season. And right now, it's at a 50.36, and that's at the worst that it's been. And I can only assume that they are going to go up from there. They're at a little bit of a slump right now. I don't think that'll continue for too much longer. They are a young team, and they do have the youngest captain in NHL history with McDavid, and he's already establishing himself as one of the most dominant players in the game, even at his age. So it'll be interesting to see if he can mature throughout the season and fit into that captaincy role and lead his players into the playoffs. I definitely think that it'll be less of a maturity thing and more of just skill-based. McDavid can just rally a team behind his hands and behind his speed. So I think, and they have a lot of other players who can help them in that category, like Lucic and Eberle, and even Talbot. Talbot has been doing very well for himself. Recently, he's been slumping, but I expect him to do a lot better as well. Right now, they're 11th in the league in goals per game with 2.81. They're 16th in the league for goals against for 2.56. They'll have to improve that. Their power play percentage is 16th in the league as well. And their PK is 4th in the league, so that's stellar right now. That's looking real hot, and that's going to be really good if they're going to make playoffs. Their PDO, which is, again, their puck luck percentage, is at a 99.69, and all teams always trend towards the 100 mark. So right now, the slump they're having is completely apparent by their PDO, and I expect that to go back up to 100 and surpass it. And they're going to start getting hot again. McDavid is not going to just stand there and let his team get rolled on. So I do think that they will be rolling, get some points, and they will make playoffs this year.
All right.
Bo, let me hear your rebuttal.
So Eddie does have some valid arguments, but of course, as always, he's wrong.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to tell you why he is wrong. So the Edmonton Oilers.
All right, Trump.
They are currently
wrong,
and still.
All right, Eddie. All right. Let me hear what Bo has to say.
That was actually me.
That was all Bo.
But anyways.
Well, you know what, Bo? Shut up and let me hear what Bo has to say.
Well, now that Trump's gone, Bo has to say the Edmonton Oilers are currently, for someone leading the Pacific Division right now, have 46 goals for and 41 goals against, which gives them a +5 differential. And let me tell you about the other teams that are currently leading their division. The Blackhawks currently have a +15 differential. The Montreal Canadiens have a plus 19 differential. And the New York Rangers have a plus 29 differential. So if the Edmonton Oilers want any chance of holding that top spot, is not looking good with the plus 5 differential. And, that's only a little bit. First of all, hockey is a team sport, if you know. If you don't know, then you got to pay attention that there's more than one player out there.
Yeah.
And, for the Edmonton Oilers, that one player is Connor McDavid. And pretty much that first line of McDavid, Eberle, and Maroon has accounted for 40 of the 112 points that the Edmonton Oilers have, and that's 36%. And that's also, if you want to include Milan Lucic when he was originally playing with that first line, that's 49 out of 112 points, and that's 44%. That is very close to half of the team's, performance in points. So that's not sustainable for a team that wants to make the playoffs. It has to be a team effort. It can't just be one line. And I know Eddie mentioned that Talbot is good. Well, I definitely have to disagree with that. In the past 6 games, he's allowed 20 goals. And he's gotten 1 win with a 3.34 goals against average, a .89 save percentage, and he's lost his last 3 games. Like, that is not good. So let's go in a little further analysis. The Edmonton Oilers, they currently have 9 wins on the season, which, that's pretty good. 9 wins is solid, but those 9 wins are against Carolina, Winnipeg, Vancouver, the New York Islanders, Detroit, Calgary twice, and they have had some solid wins against Washington and St. Louis, but otherwise those are all really weak teams. Those are teams that you will not see in the playoffs probably at all this season. So, those are not good wins. And if you want to look at their losses, they have 6 losses and 1 overtime loss, and they've lost to Buffalo, Toronto, or, they shouldn't be losing to those teams if they want to make the playoffs. But otherwise, they've been losing to the Rangers twice, Pittsburgh, Dallas, and Ottawa. Those are all playoff teams. If you can't beat a playoff team, you have no right in being in the playoffs. So I honestly cannot see the Edmonton Oilers making it. Yeah, I mean, they've had a great start, but I still see San Jose, Anaheim, and the LA Kings making a push to beat them out of the playoffs. I know the Kings don't have a solid goaltending unit right now, but Quick will be back. And once he's back, the Kings will rally, and they will make that push for that third and final spot in the Pacific Division. And I know there's also wild card spots, but the Central is way too strong to let the Pacific get any wild card spots. So I just have to say that the Edmonton Oilers, as promising as they've been right now, it's just not looking good for a one-player team. So that's my reasons for the Edmonton Oilers not making the playoffs.
All right, guys. Thank you for your input and your arguments. I am going to hold off on letting you guys know who I think won that first battle until we have heard all of them, and then I will go through them and give you guys a score.
All right. Still time.
Topic number 2. And I'm going to have Bo start this one off. Switch it up.
Okay.
Will Evgeny Kuznetsov be a top 10 center? What do you think, Bo?
Well, if this was last year, I would have to agree with Eddie and say he's a top 5 center. Because, last year he was on a tear. He had 77 points with 57 of them being assists. And he was number 4 in assists last year, which, that's pretty good. He was up there with Joe Thornton, Erik Karlsson, and a bunch of elite players, which is pretty good for someone who just recently came in the league these past couple of years. But right now he is sitting as the 350th ranked fantasy player. So to make such a jump to the top 10 in centers, that's not realistic in a position that is so strong as the center position for fantasy hockey. You can find so many better players out there. He's currently only has 7 points, 2 goals, 5 assists in 14 games, and he only has 20 shots on net. So he technically is only taking 1.4 shots a game, and that's not going to get it done for someone that you want to be a top 10 center. And worst of all is, if you want to be at the very top, you got to at least be on the first line, maybe even the second line. But Kuznetsov is currently playing on the third line. There's no way that's happening if you're going to play on the third line. And especially if you're going to be on the Caps team and you want to be the very best, you got to be playing with the very best. And Alexander Ovechkin is currently on the first line.
Kuznetsov's not the very best on that team?
No, he is not the Pokemon Master.
Oh.
but maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
But yeah, pretty much Nicholas Backstrom is taking the role that you would want to see Kuznetsov have. And that's playing with Alexander Ovechkin. So, I mean, we'll kind of see if this changes throughout the year. Maybe if Kuznetsov moves up, there's some promise, but currently right now it's not looking good. I mean, the Capitals, I got to kind of put this out there. This is more about the Capitals in general. For a team like them, you expect them to be very high scoring, but currently they only have 37 goals for. And that's pretty surprising for a team that was, second in goals for behind the Stars last year. So they're pretty far behind. They're second to last in their division in goals for. And if they're not scoring goals, then that means Kuznetsov's not scoring goals. So that's, not looking too good for that guy right now. So that's my reasons for him not being a top 10 center this season.
All right.
All right. Eddie, let me hear your rebuttal.
All right. Time to take you on a run, Bo. These are some numbers I'm going to throw at you for Kuznetsov. And, I mean, they're some pretty decent numbers, if I do say so myself. But, yes, I'll give you credit. Kuznetsov is on a downward trend. He hasn't been producing the numbers he should be to become a top 10 candidate. But moving forward, I think he could still make that push and make it into the top 10. And the reason why is a lot of it has to do with his consistency throughout all the seasons he's played and his puck possession numbers. So the puck possession numbers right now for him are 52.7%, which, as we know, above 50 is always really, really good. His PDO has never been under 101, which means the puck is always finding a way to his stick. And right now it's at 103.5, even without him producing. And that, that's just showing how smart he is on the ice, where he knows where to go. It's just not happening for him and the Capitals, as you said. They're not scoring as much as a team. He has a shooting percentage of 10.0, which is on par with other players you might have heard of, like Jamie Benn, who's at 11.1%, Ovechkin, who's at 11.9%, and McDavid at 11.9%. So he is very close to those guys. He is good at shooting, but we know him as a puck handler. He's very good at setting up plays. They like him as a center, like we said with Backstrom. They want him setting up Ovechkin, setting up Oshie, setting up Justin Williams, even other players. He just makes the people around him better, and that's why they can put him on the third line, and he'll end up making that line better and just providing depth for them. He sees 30.4% of all power play time and sees over 16 minutes a night just in general. Like you said, he's on the third line to provide that depth, and I will tell you right now that's not going to continue. He will not be on the third line forever. He is an elite talent, and he'll see scoring opportunities come his way with the numbers I provided for you previously. His Corsi and PDO are just stellar. It's just not happening. Sometimes it just doesn't happen your way, but Capitals are making the playoffs, and he will reach the 60-point-plus mark this year, and that's why I think he'll make that push. So all those numbers, putting together, it's going to happen for him. Unfortunately, owners right now are, sweating. They're trying to ship him off. They're even trying to drop him. I urge you not to do that. If you can get great value for him, maybe trade him. But, don't sleep on Kuznetsov. He's an elite talent. So that's my view on him.
I just think I'm so down on him because I own him in both leagues.
Yeah.
And it's a very sad story.
Yeah.
Well, that might skew your vision a little bit, Bo, but
a little bit.
I appreciate both of your views on the Kuznetsov, but I want to move on to number 3 as we're running a little bit long on this. So let's try. I'm going to time you guys about 2 minutes apiece. Eddie, you're going to start off for me.
Okay.
Will Pekka Rinne be a top 5 goaltender?
So,
what do you think?
I'll try to make it quick. But names that I have ahead of Rinne, ending in the top 5 list are Price, of course. We got Howard. I think Holtby will be up there. Crawford. Howard's going to be up there. We've been talking him up all our podcasts.
Surprised we're debating about him.
So Price, Crawford. Holtby. I think Rask might be up there, and I know Schneider will be up there. Schneider always has been in the top 5. He's posts great numbers. Other names might be Dubnyk and Bishop, but I don't think Rene's making the top 5, and here's the reason why. The Preds save percentage in all situations is 91.88% for Rene, and that's 10th in the league. That's not top 5. They're 12th in goals against per game with 2.5. They're 19th on the penalty kill, which is at 80.9%. Last season, he posted a 908 save percentage with 2.48 goals against, and that is not top 5 material. His quality start percentage is a .48, and that means that his starts with a great save percentage has not been averaging out throughout the year. He has not posted quality starts. Or this is last year. He has not been posting as many quality starts. And last season, he didn't even break the top 20. He didn't even break the top 30 in goals or in goalies, top goalies. So, he's definitely doing really well right now. But I don't see him breaking the top 5 right now. Has a 75% for quality starts, which is completely unsustainable. He's been doing stellar, but it's not going to keep going like that. He's never posted above a 627 or 672 save or a quality starts percentage, and goalies always average out to a 600 save percentage or quality start percentage. So I definitely think the one right now at 75% is going to just go down. He's not going to be in the top 5, and that's my reasoning right there.
All right, thank you, and thank you for making that quick. I really appreciate that.
Yes, I was trying to
jump. Let me get your rebuttal real quick.
All right, I'll try to be as quick as I can because I honestly don't have as much information to make this promising. But Pekka Rinne, he is going to be a top 5 goaltender this year, and you want to know why?
Because Bo said so.
Exactly. Enough said. Okay, we're done. No, just kidding. Pekka Rinne, plays on the Nashville Predators, and they are a very solid defensive team, arguably one of the best defensive teams in the NHL. Their defense is stacked with Ellis, Yossi, Ekholm, Subban, Weber, and kind of Irwin. Oh, I didn't say that. But yeah, their defense, they've always been known to be a very strong defensive team. And, that means their goalie is going to be just as great. So if you have a good defense, you're going to have a good goalie. And that goes to show that Pekka Rinne is currently top 10 in save percentage and goals against average. And this is a team that has been slumping to begin the season. They have not been performing right off the bat. They're very slow to get out the gate. But as of right now, they have won their past 3 games. And they haven't just won their past 3 games. They have been, shutting teams out. They got a shutout. They've only let in, 1 or 2 goals in the past couple of games. So this is the type of hockey that the Predators are looking to play the whole rest of the season. Mm-hmm. So if you know anything about Pekka Rinne, it's that he is a second half of the season player. And if he can break out, if this can be, the early start to the second half of the season, then there's without a doubt a chance that Pekka Rinne could be a top 5 goaltender. You did mention a couple of names that I would rank ahead of Rinne, and that's for sure Price, Crawford, Holtby. But I don't know if I could put Rash, Snyder, Dubnyk, or Bishop ahead of him. They are all solid goaltenders, but I kind of see the Nashville Predators as the best team out of all those, those goalies that you mentioned. The Predators are the most solid teams in terms of defensive core and
offense,
this offense as well. So the Predators, they currently have the second less goals against in the Central Division, only behind the Minnesota Wild, which is, Dubnyk has 3 shutouts, so that makes complete sense why, but that's due to change. So I definitely trust Rinne being top 5. He has no competition in the crease. It's his the whole rest of the season. And if the Predators want to make the playoffs, they need Pekka Rinne to perform. So he's going to be a top 5 goalie purely on the thought that the Nashville Predators are going to rally and make it into the playoffs this year.
All right.
All right.
So
well, thank you very much, both you guys. I'm going to just count up these tallies. Let me do some simple math here. Carry the 8, divide by pi.
I like pie.
All right. Me too. That's why I'm looking at this piece of pumpkin pie. Okay. Really quick, guys. You guys both had some awesome points. I will say that the first 2 were way closer than the last question. So, the first question, the first question, let's remind everybody, Eddie said yes to the question, will the Edmonton Oilers make the playoffs, while Bo said no. I'm giving that first point to Bo. I believe Yeah, I believe your note about the first line getting 44% of all of their points so far, including when Lucic was up there with them, is a big, big point. And I think the other point that you didn't specifically mention, Bo, but you did say they beat the Wings and the Blues. I don't know what the save percentage or who played for the Wings that night, but I know Jake Allen has been struggling hard with the Blues.
Oh,
so, for me, that's not a very impressive win.
Mm-hmm.
So, I give that point to Bo.
Yeah.
No.
Question number 2. Will Evgeny Kuznetsov be a top 10 center? Another close one. Bo, I totally get your points about the 350th fantasy player, only 7 points in 14 games and only 20 shots. He's not with Ovi, etc. But I have to give this point to Eddie. I think the 53 Corsi number is very impressive on a third line. His shooting percentage is pretty good. I know that he's not doing that well, but the PDO number of 103 and the fact the Caps themselves are just not doing well as a team, I agree with Eddie. I do not believe Kuznetsov will be a third line center for much longer. As soon as the Caps kind of catch fire and play the way we know that they can play, I believe he'll move up, get more power play time, etc. Now, it comes down to the third and final question. Who do you guys think is going to win?
I definitely won this one.
Literally, Eddie, because I don't know if you guys know, I was taking notes the whole time to just kind of reiterate whatever you guys said. So, this last question, will Pekka Rinne be a top 5 goaltender by the end of the year? Eddie said no. Bo said yes. I believe Eddie's list of goaltenders, I would change a couple of them, but I agree Price, Crawford, Holtby, and Schneider are absolutely above Pekka Rinne for me. You know, the fact that he's on a team with the 18th penalty kill right now, last year a save percentage of just .905, not too impressive. Bo had some good points too, especially the one where he said that he said so. That was a very good point. but to me, my counter question to Bo, which it's just a rhetorical question, would be, there's no more Shea Weber. We have a Weber, but it's not Shea. So the fact that you're thinking of one of the biggest and best defensive cores in the league, they're missing their biggest piece. So to me, Eddie gets this point and wins the shootout for this week.
Surprised you saw through me on that one, Cam. Thought I could get away.
It was close.
Right. I'll give you a gentleman's handshake on that one, Eddie.
Yes.
It was a close one.
Sir. Could have gone either way.
Yeah. Definitely had no hope with the Pekka Rinne one, but I'm standing strong.
Glad I paid Cam off before this podcast.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
He did. With things that are not money. Let's move on to the start of the week. Bo, would you like to lead us through these starts?
Yeah, I could definitely lead us through the starts. We're just gonna hop through right with center. I think we should try to do these as quick as possible since the last
sounds good to me.
The last one took a little longer than expected.
Mm-hmm.
But my center.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was a good one. I really enjoyed that section actually. I hope we can do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But
absolutely.
But my center for this start of the week is Alex Galchenyuk. So for those of you who don't know, he is the top first-line center of the Montreal Canadiens, currently the best team in the NHL. If that doesn't say it enough for you, then I can give you more information about him. Currently sitting on 6 goals, 11 assists, a +12. Pretty impressive. 5 power play points, 31 shots in 16 games this season. So that over there, he's producing over a point per game. That's solid. He's currently riding a 5-game point streak with points in 8 of his last 9 games. Solid. 4 multi-point games in those last 9 games. Extra solid. And, let's just give you the numbers for those 9 games. 5 goals, 7 assists, a +6, 4 power play points, 21 shots. He has been dominating these past 9 games, if I need to say any more.
Woo.
And this is playing...
Yeah, I mean, just remember, Galchenyuk has all those numbers, and he was kind of pointless to begin the season. So people thought that he was on this big slump, and now look at him.
Yeah, he's come out the gates with some fire. And this is not even playing with some of the top names in Montreal. This is no Pacioretty, no Gallagher, but he's playing with Byron that Eddie mentioned earlier, and Radulov with the new addition. So he's a first power play unit player. That's always good for point production. But the thing that really makes me think he's going to do well this year is this week is his matchups. He's playing Florida at home, then going away to play the Carolina Hurricanes. Then he's at home against Toronto. Like, those are some beautiful matchups, especially for a team like the Montreal Canadiens that are dominating all their games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm comfortable
starting. Sounds good.
I'm comfortable starting this guy over Scheifele, Tavares, Bergeron. Alex Galchenyuk, he's a solid play this week.
I agree. I'll make mine real quick. I've talked about it before. Tyler Johnson. He's 58% owned in 15 games, 5 goals, 3 assists, 5 power play points. It's not the greatest start to the season, but his matchups this week are just the ones that I'm going again. He's at Detroit, at Buffalo, and then at Philly. The Detroit matchup will be the toughest of the 3, but Tampa Bay has a very good history against them, winning 20 out of 35 to this point in their history.
Yeah, the playoffs said enough.
As you all know,
last year.
Exactly, yeah. Johnson, I think that's what you said, that the playoffs are Johnson's time, and I was going to mention that he came alive during last year's playoffs. In the first round, they were, Tampa Bay versus the Wings, so I expect a little bit more emotion in this game than normal, so expect Tyler Johnson to really be on his big game. I say that these 3 matchups, for me, he's a no-brainer.
Yeah, totally agree.
Endorse that pick for sure.
Yeah, I'll just throw my pick out there really quick. A lot of people will probably question it just because I'm picking Jonathan Toews, 95% owned. A lot of people just are very high on him. But a lot of fantasy owners that I've actually talked to in the past have said that he is a stellar hockey player, but he's a less effective fantasy player. So a lot of people, he's not always getting like Patrick Kane numbers or, something that you expect out of him maybe. And there's a lot of great centers this year, which we've talked about. But this week in particular, you need to start this dude. He is going to be on a road trip, and the Hawks will be ripping through Canada. They're going to take on Winnipeg on Tuesday, Calgary on Friday, and Vancouver on Saturday. Those are some crazy good matchups for the Hawks this week. He has only 2 assists in his past 3 games, so that might be a reason why you might be questioning him, but you must start him with confidence. He is currently on the top line with Patrick Kane and Ryan Hartman, whoever that fool is, but you don't even need to worry about that. It's going to be just a feast for those boys. So start Jonathan Toews. Do not question it. And, we just got to move on from there. That's not it. We don't even need to sit on that for that much longer.
We really don't. I believe you. I agree.
Thank you.
I actually, I agree.
We'd agree. So left wingers, Eddie, you should just keep on rolling because that Taze got us, we were going.
Tantalizing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to move on to Nemestikov. He is on Tampa Bay. He's only 5% owned, surprisingly. He's a center and left wing, but he just got placed on the top line with Stamkos and Kucherov, and those guys are pretty good hockey players.
Do you want to know why he's only 5% owned? It's because no one can spell his damn name when they're trying to search him to add player.
Well,
all you have to say is type name.
Yeah.
You just name, then blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then you're fine.
Exactly. You're just like, what name am I?
No, because I typed in name, and the app was like, dude, I don't know. You're the one looking for the player.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. I'm sorry. Continue.
All right. But yeah, Nemestikov, he's on my must-play list this week. His Corsi has been above 5.4 or 54.7. His PDO is currently at 99.8, whereas previous seasons it's always been over 100, even though he hasn't been on the top line. He's always had great possession numbers. Nemestikov will also be on the top power play unit as well. His ice time in the past 3 games has increased from 12:53 to 18:26 to 19:40. So he's just been seeing increased playing time in all of his past 3 games, which is really awesome. Tampa Bay's matchups this week today they played New York Islanders and killed them 4-0. They're playing Tuesday in versus Detroit, and then Buffalo on Thursday, and Philadelphia on Saturday. So those are all matchups they can just score some goals in.
And he scored a goal in
scored a goal today.
The game today.
And I wrote this before that game.
Before it even started. So
that's just, if that is any indication, that's just gonna boost his numbers and
say my name.
Say my name. All right.
Exactly. So moving on. You guys take the wheel.
All right, I will grab the wheel. Jesus, actually, hold on to it for a second.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
Connor Sheary is going to be my left winger. Now, he is only 7% owned and has only played 8 games thus far with 3 goals, 5 assists, and +9.
Wow.
Right now, he's on the top line with Crosby and Hornquist, as well as the second power play unit. His matchups this week are all the way versus Washington, the Islanders, and then Buffalo. Washington will be a hard-fought contest, but the other two will be much more open. The last thing I want to mention really quick, he plays both left wing and right wing. I love the flexibility there. You guys know that already.
Oh, yeah.
Connor Sherry for me is my left wing pick.
He's so limber.
Anyone playing with Crosby, man, you start him right away.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what? That's all you needed to say. I'm sorry. Just Connor Sherry is with Crosby. Done.
They call him actually Connor Crosby Sherry.
Connor Crosby Sherry. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna give you my left winger. This guy I already mentioned in our waiver section, if you haven't heard that, but I also mentioned him in our shootout debate, Patrick Maroon. So, my favorite color is Patrick Maroon. And the reason why is because, as I said before, the first line of the Oilers is producing 44% of their points and 45% of their goals. Patrick Maroon, when he plays with Connor McDavid, he is a must start at all times. This is actually pretty interesting. Going back to last year when he first joined the Edmonton Oilers, he had 14 points in 16 games. In all of those 16 games, he played with Connor McDavid. So it kind of shows that even last year, he can go close to a point per game pace as long as he's playing with Connor McDavid.
The McChicken.
Yeah, the McChicken. And even playing, he's feasting on that McChicken this season.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since he's been put on McDavid line, he is over a point per game.
Oh, yeah.
He has, points in 5 of his 6 games, 7 of his 9 points in the last 6 games with McDavid. He's feasting.
I'm loving it.
McChicken.
Yeah.
He is loving it. So, yeah, Patrick Maroon, our new favorite color, as long as he's with McDavid. Start him right away. I also want to kind of throw this in real quick. He has 38 shots and 38 hits.
Oh, wow.
So for every shot he gets, he's going to get a hit as well.
Yeah.
So you can't really hate on that if he's going to get you the shots and hits while getting you those penalty minutes, 80 penalty minutes in every of the last 3 seasons. So, he's a stat stuffer. Patrick Maroon, our favorite color.
Very nice. All right. Do you want to just move right into the right
Cool.
wing?
Yeah, sure. I guess I'll go right into our right wings.
You're on a roll.
Yeah. Now I'm just going to talk about if you ain't a hoser, you're a hosa. Sure. Marian Hossa, our right winger, my start of the week right winger. If you haven't been noticing, the Blackhawks are one of the, if not one of the best team in the NHL right now. Close to the Montreal Canadiens. They have been winning every single game they've been playing. And a good reason why is because Marian Hossa has been stepping his game up.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding, dude.
Yeah, seriously.
He has he's on a 4-game goal scoring streak.
Old man strength.
Yeah, so he's I don't know if he's been drinking on the Space Jam water bottle, but he's committed at this point.
Michael Jordan's just passing him.
I'm very happy you just mentioned that. That made me happy.
I'm glad.
I'm so excited. They're making a second movie.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty. I heard LeBron James might be in it.
Curry might be in it too.
Woo! Anyways, we're a fantasy hockey podcast. We frown upon basketball, except if it involves Stephen Curry. But anyways,
Or Bugs Bunny.
Or who?
Or Bugs Bunny.
Or Bugs Bunny.
Yes, you make a good point. We love cartoons here.
Lola Bunny.
Oh, man.
Fine.
But yeah, Marian Hossa, like I said, 4-game goal scoring streak. He has 11 points in his past 9 games. He has 4 multi-point games in that streak of 9 games. And he's taking Kane's spot with Panarin and Anisimov. And if you didn't know, even without Kane, they're still putting up points. So Marian Hossa, he's a solid play this week. They're on a road trip, but they're playing Winnipeg, Calgary, Vancouver. They're sweeping Canada, and it's going to be easy peasy for the Chicago Blackhawks and Marian Hossa this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Real quick time check. Just letting you guys know.
All right. Yeah, we gotta get through these. I'll go right along and pick my guy, Mr. Alexander Radulov. And if I know anybody who's rad, being a Mo rad, I'd say Radulov is pretty rad.
That's a lot of rads.
It's a lot of rads, but he is 83% owned. Right now he's got 3 goals, 11 assists, and +7 on the season, which is amazing, which is really great. He's at least a point in each of his last 5 games, and he's on the top line with Galchenyuk and Byron, which we just mentioned about Galchenyuk. So obviously you got to start Radulov too. I mean, we'll mention their matchups again. They're very nice for them. It's at Carolina on Friday, at Toronto on Saturday, and they got a tough one on Tuesday versus Florida, but that still should be fine for them. He will find himself on the top power play. He sees 15.8% of all power play time, and his playmaking ability makes that line just that much better. You know, he is talented, and it's fun to watch that team and that line. So start that man. That's all I gotta say. We can move on now.
So rad.
Well, I agree with Radulov. I think you are spot on. I would start him as well.
Thank you, sir.
My next guy, we've mentioned him before. I'll just reiterate really quick. We believe Patrick Eaves. I think I speak for all of us when I say he needs to be played. He's 13% on 15 games played, 12 points, 6 of them on the power play, with 36 shots already compared to the 86 he had all of last season.
Wow.
The last 5 games, he has 7 points, including 4 goals. The next 3 games, he'll be facing New Jersey, Colorado, and Edmonton, all at home. He's on the second line with Seguin and Roussel, who, as we mentioned earlier, is also doing very well. He centers the first power play unit. So I say it's a no-brainer. Eaves this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're right there.
Totally agree.
Now, if you don't mind, I'm just going to jump into my defense one really quick, just to get it out of the way.
I was just going to say that.
Not much to talk about with this guy. Sorry if I cut anybody off. Marc-Edouard Vlasic, he's 78% owned.
Pickles.
With 15 games played. Yeah, big pickles. With 15 games played, I actually am a little surprised. His numbers are pretty good. He's got 3 goals, 3 assists, 3 power play points, 23 shots, and the biggest thing for me is 20 penalty minutes. I don't know if that's going to continue, but that's kind of cool at this point that he has that many. He is part of San Jose's number 1 shutdown D pair and averages about 21.56 ice time per game. So he's also on the second power play unit and averages about 231 of power play time per game. So for me, he's a no-brainer start this week, especially playing Carolina, St. Louis, and Arizona. Like I said, St. Louis will be the toughest of the 3, but like I said earlier, should not really scare you. Jake Allen is struggling. He has a save percentage of .896, and Hutton isn't any better at .900. So Marc-Edouard Vlasic for me is a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I think you were right when you initially said Arizona, because we really, as San Jose, can't beat them. So, you know, we lost to them.
They might be the toughest match.
That is true, but I think we were playing pretty poorly, and Vlasic had a terrible game in that game. I think that his numbers and those matchups, I think they're going to be good, especially because we're at home for 2 of them. They're away at Carolina, but then at home versus St. Louis and Arizona. I think the home atmosphere is going to help them out.
Cool.
That'll be nice. So I'm going to hop into my defensive player. I mentioned him in our waivers, but Andrei Markov, he's been killing it this past week. And you know, usually you think who's the best defenseman on Montreal, you would say Weber.
Emelin. Oh, sorry.
Emelin's, he's a close second.
Oh, crap.
And when I say second, I mean second worst. But Andrei Markov he's been playing real well with Jeff Petrie right now. They are honestly the 9th most prolific defensive pairing in the NHL these past 3 games. And that is above their teammate, Shea Weber, who is the number 1 fantasy defenseman. So that says it enough right there. Andrei Markov playing better than Shea Weber as of late. 5-game point streak, and it's going to continue. So I'm safe to say you can start him.
Drop Shea Weber for Markov, right?
Obviously, what else would you do? So Andrei Markov, safe play this week. We've already mentioned the matchups over and over again, but he is a solid defenseman 3 or defenseman 4 for you guys that you can start this week. Do it.
Yes, and yes. I'll move right along to my pick. I got Torrey Krug on the block right here, and the Krug. Don't fall asleep on this man. He will haunt your dreams. But he is 86% owned, so he's pretty widely owned. Unfortunately, he's been off to a very, very cold start this season. Only 1 goal and 3 assists. But he's accumulated 51 shots in that span, which is crazy for a defenseman. Shots. Thank you, Lil John.
Yeah.
But he has a ridiculous Corsi. I love bringing up Corsi numbers because I think it's just so relevant to playoff play and just a player's overall just play on the ice. But his Corsi is at 57.1, which is crazy good. But his PDO has been at an all-time low with 97.8. So some things got to give, with the shot total he's been accumulating, with his Corsi being so high, and his PDO being so low, which is his puck luck again. Things have got to be trending upward in his favor. His D line has actually been the third most prolific in the NHL over the past 3 games with 4 goals. He is the Bruin. I know it's hard to believe that, but it's okay. I'll walk you through this, but you can hold my hand.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome. But he is the Bruins' best offensive defenseman. He sees 38.5% of all power play time, which is absurd. He is a 40-point defenseman. He's moving in the right direction as of late, and his team's been benefiting from his amped-up play, and they've won 8 of the last 10 games, and the Boston Bruins are just doing so well right now, and Torrey Krug is a big reason for that. So expect him to continue to get some points for you and start him with confidence.
I agree.
There we go. Defenseman out of the way. Let's talk about our goalie start of the weeks.
Yeah, I'll start this one off just because mine is just a little blurb I want to mention. As you guys know, and as if you've been watching hockey lately, Matt Murray is just unreal right now. He's only 85% owned, which is surprising, but it might just be because he hasn't secured that starting position. But
he's secured it.
I mean, after what I tell you right now, he should. This man is undefeated in his first 4 starts, posting a .961 save percentage and a 1.25 goals against average. He's pretty much unstoppable at this point. He's stopped some great teams. He's running away with the starting job, and Fleury is just kind of kicking back right now, contemplating retirement at this point. He's a must-start when he's in net and should be owned in all formats. That's all I got to say about Matt Murray. If you have him, that's good for you.
You're a lucky
Probably
soul.
picked him up late in the draft. So.
You know who Matt Murray basically is?
Who?
He's
Doug Murray?
basically Ron. No, he's basically Ron Stoppable. If Ron Stoppable was good at things.
Yes, he's been stopping stuff. So.
All right. Well, I'll do my goalie real quick. We mentioned him several times in these podcasts. Antti Ranta for the New York Rangers. If you have space, I say pick up Ranta for a 3rd goalie spot and boost your goalie stat. I say boost, and I really mean boost. Once again, he is 4-0, has yet to allow more than 2 goals in any game he's played, including the one that he relieved Lundqvist in. With 3 games this week, I see Ranta at least playing 1 and getting you that win and some great numbers. So not a bad 3rd goalie pickup, and I would say if you have him or are going to pick him up, play him whenever he gets the start.
Well, there you go. I'm going to wrap it up with my last start goalie, and this is actually a combo. This could be, either the number 1 combo, but I got Craig Anderson and Mike Condon, the Ottawa Senators goalie. I'll take this one to go, but Craig Anderson, Mike Condon have been playing some outstanding tender work in the net right now. Ottawa in general, I mentioned this before, have only allowed 10 goals in their past 8 games. That says it enough right there. That's a barely 1 goal a game. Yeah, say that again, Cam, because I need to hear it again. Wow is indeed. So you got to trust both of these goalies. They have been stopping everything, and it's pretty impressive because the Ottawa Senators have been allowing close to over 30 shots a game. So even if they end up losing a game, you're still going to get a save percentage over 900%, and their goal against average is going to be beautiful as well. So Craig Anderson, Mike Condon, doesn't matter what their matchup is because they're gonna have a good save percentage and goal against average even if they do or do not get the win.
Yeah.
I agree.
Solid.
I think that's spot on.
Solid.
Yeah. Well, there we go. That wraps up our starts of the week. It wraps up our podcast as well. I hope you enjoyed our new section today, the Shootout. The starts of the week, we enjoy those as well.
Yeah, 1-0 right now in Shootout.
Eddie remains undefeated, but that is soon to change in weeks to come.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, there we go. Wraps it up.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Wow. Wow.